Hey, what's up everyone? Gamer Guy 7 Aces here, back with a very anticipated video. A lot of people have been wanting me to do another comparison of a Sonic game and a Mario game, so it's back by popular demand. This is basically not the sequel, but a follow-up to the Sonic Adventure 1 versus Super Mario 64 video. I said I was going to do one on Mario Odyssey versus Sonic Unleashed, and a lot of people have been waiting for me to do it for like a month now, so now I'm doing it now. Alright guys, before I get right into the video, be sure to smash the like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me what you think about this video. So, I'm sure this video is going to rattle some cages, but let's get started. Now first, when I compare these two games, I'm going to be comparing them in 7 categories. The graphics, music, story, level design, bonus content, gameplay, and game design. Oh yes, there's a difference between gameplay, game design, and level design, and I will get to that later. But yeah, so Mario Odyssey, a lot of people have praised that game. That game was very awesome, and a lot of people have said things that the development team behind Unleashed and even Generations left Sonic Team and went to Odyssey. Now, some people disagree with this, or some people say they did go, but they weren't the level designers, but they were part of the production team. Anyone who has the facts, just let me know down in the comments below. Send me a link. I do strongly believe that a lot of the team members were from other games as well as Unleashed and Generations, but they might not have necessarily been the level designers. But yeah, so Odyssey was a fantastic game. That was my game of the year, platforming game of the year last year. Not Zelda Breath of the Wild was the game of the year. But I remember when it first came out with the trailer back in January. Many people were like, huh? Many people were calling this, it's a ripoff from Sonic Adventure or Sonic World Adventure, Sonic 06. Remember when people were writing those cringe articles saying that Mario Odyssey looks as bad as like the worst Sonic games like Sonic 06? Like, people were really prejudging this Mario game just because he was in a New York setting with humans. So it's funny how everyone was proven wrong and this ended up being a 10 out of 10 game. So let's talk about this right now. So basically the lesson for that is don't jump to conclusions because you end up looking like a fool in the end. So alright, let's get started with number 1, the graphics. Now, which one do I think is better between Unleashed and Odyssey? Now, I'm going to have to go with Unleashed. Oh yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, Mario Odyssey has superb graphics. It's the best looking Mario game ever. And for all that compressed in a game card for the Switch, which isn't even that big to begin with, is extremely impressive. But Unleashed just has that photorealism. It's photorealistic. I love it. Sure, Odyssey does the grass and pixels and the graphics of the grass and the physics way better than Unleashed, but I'm looking at the bigger picture, and Unleashed it was meant to resemble real world locations, and it did a great job of that. So I'm going to have to give it to Unleashed. Both of them look very good, but Unleashed just literally tops it because it looks like it came straight out of a Pixar movie. So I'm going to give it to Unleashed. Number 2, the music. Obviously, I'm going to have to give this to Sonic Unleashed again because, I love the music. And if you guys watch my top 5 Sonic soundtracks, Unleashed made number 3. Only topped by Sonic Colors and Sonic Mania. I'm even starting to think maybe Unleashed is number 2. Maybe Unleashed tops Colors because I find myself humming and whistling Unleashed songs more than Colors. But yeah, so it's very high. I really love the soundtrack for Unleashed. Odyssey has good soundtrack too, but it's far and few between. There's only a few that I actually really adore, like Cascade Kingdom. I love it, a few like New Donk City. I love that too. I like the jazz. It really was inspired by Mario 3D World and also Galaxy, but the Galaxy games just has a better soundtrack, to be honest. A better soundtrack than Odyssey. And there are many times Odyssey was just quiet. There wasn't any soundtrack playing. So Unleashed takes the cake for that, for music. Now let's go to story. Now obviously story is not my main thing in the game. I don't really care much about story, but it's still integral to the game. So I'm going to have to give the story, once again, to Sonic Unleashed. Oh man, Unleashed is leading so far, 3-0. But yeah, the story Unleashed is nothing to boast about, but it's still really good. It's, in my opinion, the most balanced story in a 3D Sonic game. And the intro still reigns supreme. It's kick-ass. I love the intro. You can't go wrong with the intro. No Sonic intro has ever topped that. That was movie cinematic quality. It was so good that Mario Odyssey kind of copied the same kind of intro too. Yes, there's a ton of similarities between Mario Odyssey and Sonic Unleashed. And I mean, just like how Sonic Unleashed starts with Sonic fighting Eggman and an egg fleet, and in the end getting his ass kicked, then thrown back to Earth. Same thing as Mario Odyssey. Mario starts out with Mario fighting Bowser on one of his airships. Mario gets his ass kicked, then lands in what's it called? Cap Kingdom. Very similar, but Sonic did it better. So I'm going to have to give that point to Sonic Unleashed. Okay, now this is where the important stuff goes in, the game mechanics. So the next point is number 5. Never mind, number 4. Number 4, level design. Now, which game do I think has the best level design? I'm going to have to give the point to Mario Odyssey. Yep, not Sonic Unleashed. Because look, Sonic Unleashed was fun. I love the daytime stages. But Generations just had better level design than Unleashed. Multiple pathways and Generations. Don't even get me started with it. But Mario Odyssey was very fun, very exploration based. The level design was just awesome. I mean, they hit hundreds and hundreds of moons everywhere, and it was hard to find them. It was like the first huge open world Mario game, and there was no set path to play. You can play in any order you want. There was no linearity in Mario Odyssey at all. I know being non-linear doesn't mean good, but Mario Odyssey just did it so well. So I'm going to have to give that point to Mario Odyssey. So yeah, it was just fun. You know, it was the best in 3D Mario. And I mean, there are times Unleashed was boost to win. I know you guys are going to hate hearing that, but I mean, come on. Compared to Generations, there were a couple boost to win segments in Unleashed. And don't get me started with the Werehog. The Werehog is nothing compared to Mario Odyssey. So alright, number 5, bonus content. Now when I mean bonus content, I mean post-game and everything in between. Bonus content, I'm going to have to give that to Odyssey, because after you beat the game, there's still tons more to do. It's so fun, so exciting. You know, those moon boxes, you hit them and it unlocks at least 15 to 20 more moons. And then you go through these pipes. I mean, the bonus content is so good. I put 60 plus hours, or I think 70 plus hours now in Mario Odyssey. I mean, you gotta 100% everything. It's so fun to collect all the moons. Whereas in Sonic Unleashed, it's not fun to get all the medals and everything, especially in the daytime stages. And I mean, sure, they got the adventure packs. I haven't played those yet, but those are fun. But then you also have to play the Werehog, so it's still a 50-50. Whereas Mario, I pretty much love all the bonus content. There's a few that's like, but it's just nitpicking. So I'm going to have to give that to Mario Odyssey. Number 6. Gameplay and controls. Now what I mean by the gameplay is the controls, how the game plays. And again, I'm going to have to give this to Mario Odyssey. The controls are polished. It's the best controls in a Mario game ever. I mean, say what you want. I don't care about you Sunshine fans or Galaxy or 64. Mario controls the best in Odyssey. I mean, momentum based, rolling down a hill. I mean, shit. Mario has better physics and momentum and a sense of speed in Odyssey than Sonic ever had in Forces. And that's embarrassing. So I love the way Mario controls in in Odyssey. It's polished, and you have the momentum physics. Unleashed is mostly boosting, and the controls are actually kind of slippery, to be honest. It's not as stiff as Generations, but it's pretty slippery, and I don't like the controls for the Werehog. So yeah, I'm gonna have to give that to Odyssey. What more can I say? So far that's now 3-3. 3 for Unleashed and 3 for Mario. Now, this is the deal breaker. Number 7, game design. Now, what I mean by game design is the gimmicks, the game mechanics, the features, the pacing, basically the overall design of the game. And I'm definitely going to give that to Mario Odyssey because I actually 100%ed that game, while I haven't 100%ed Unleashed yet. I mean, Mario Odyssey is just a consistent game. It's very consistent. The cap gimmick is so much fun. It's way more fun and intuitive than the FLUDD gameplay or the FLUDD mechanics in Mario Sunshine. The pacing is enjoyable. I mean, you can play at your own pace. You can skip bosses. You can get stars from... There's no single way to play the game. It gives you that freedom, and it's good. It's a good freedom. Unleashed doesn't do that. You gotta collect moon medals and sun medals to progress. That may be easy to do in the hub worlds. That may be easy to do in the Werehog stages because you're checking everywhere, wasting 20 minutes in a level, 10 to 20 minutes. But the daytime stages, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to boost and stop, backtrack, find hidden medals. It wasn't built that way. Generations did it better with the red rings, but there's only like 5 red rings per stage, whereas Unleashed had like 10. Or, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was definitely more than 5. So Odyssey was just more consistent in the whole game design, just way much better in the game design. I mean, now Odyssey isn't perfect, it definitely has flaws. It's not a 10+ star game. I mean, I disliked the fishing. I didn't like any of the fishing parts. If you have to 100%, you gotta do like over, I think, 10 fishing areas. And just like Big the Cat, I don't like the fishing. It's even tedious in Mario because many times you'll be missing it. Catching the birds, I hate catching the eagles and the birds. Like, that can be very tedious, and you gotta wait a lot. The jump rope challenge, a lot of people hated that. It gets tedious too, but if you know music and you know how to keep the rhythm, you can get it. I actually prefer the jump rope than the volleyball. The volleyball was a pain in the ass, and you had to do 100 challenge. I had to use 2-player with Cappy just to get it. So yeah, and what else? And also the bear tumble thing, you know, the bounding races. God, that was so retarded. I hated bounding. I hated it with a passion. So I actually had to watch shortcut videos on YouTube on how to cheat the system. That was easily the worst of all the moon missions, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, but those are all optional. That's what I'm going to have to say. So now it's 4-3. Super Mario Odyssey now has 4 points in level design, bonus content, gameplay, and game design, whereas Unleashed only has 3 in graphics, music, and story. So the winner goes to Mario Odyssey. Sorry guys, but I mean, come on. A lot of you who know me should have already seen this coming. And don't be like, oh, you're just saying this to hate on Sonic Unleashed. Because if I compare this with Generations, I love Generations. Generations is still tied with Odyssey. Because, I mean, Generations wins in, like, the music. Doesn't win in the story. The graphics, I'm going to give both points to both games. The gameplay is a bit stiff in Generations. I mean, it's so Sonic could control tighter and more polished, but Mario is still better controlled. So, like I said, actually when I go through all this, Generations and Odyssey are tied. If you want to know what I think about between Generations and Odyssey, just let me know. I can write it down. But yeah, so that's just how I feel. I mean, I like Generations more than Unleashed. I think Unleashed is slightly overrated. Now let's compare this with, if you want me to compare Odyssey with Mania because you think, oh, you're just being biased with 3D games. I like Mania more than, I like Mania a lot. And if I compare this with the list, Mania actually wins 4-3 compared to Odyssey. But get this, for Game of the Year, Mania is still number 3 in Game of the Year, whereas Mario Odyssey is number 1. I know some of you guys like, wait, that doesn't make sense, Gamer Guy. It actually does make sense, because this list is based on objectivity yet subjectivity. Because like music, story, I mean, that's objective. But Game of the Year, you really have to look at things as objectively as possible. I love Sonic Mania. Like, I even love it. I put more hours into Odyssey, but I love Mania even more. But I gotta be honest, Mania is a game we should have gotten like, what, 8 years ago instead of Sonic 4? It's not as innovative as Mario Odyssey. Let's just be honest. It's not. Mario Odyssey was such an innovative, great 3D game. It's everything Sonic 3D was not. And that's why it deserves number 1 spot in platforming Game of the Year of 2017. And Cuphead is number 2 because Cuphead is just great. Graphics alone, it's like a cartoon, like a Looney Tunes game. You know, translated in the video game. Like, that is just so inspiring. And it was 2 indie developers that developed it over the course of 7 years. So it was just fantastic. Mania is number 3, followed by, you know, Hat in Time, and then Crash Insane Trilogy. And I love Crash. So, like, I see the Game of the Year awards like Oscars. You gotta look at those things objectively. But yeah, but that's about it. I mean, you know how the saying goes, you know. Old Sonic, new Mario.
Mario or Sonic?
Early Sonic, late Mario.
But for real, I mean, to be honest, I prefer 2D Sonic to 3D Sonic, and I prefer 3D Mario to 2D Mario, but I'm not going to be biased. I always like to look at things as unbiased as possible. So, yeah. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know down in the comments below. Which game do you think is better? Which do you prefer, Unleashed or Odyssey? For me, it's Odyssey all the way. I mean, I've played it over again from the beginning twice. And Unleashed, just, I haven't done it. I haven't replayed it again. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's all I have for now. Take it easy and down in the comments section below. But alright guys, until next time, swag out.